Hey there, and welcome. Today we're diving headfirst into a world filled with spaceships, robots, and some seriously mind-bending ideas. We are breaking down one of the biggest, most important genres out there, science fiction. So let's kick things off with a little question for you. Think about your favorite movies, those super complex building sets, you know the ones, and all the books on your shelf. What do they all have in common?
The answer? It's all about genre. And really, genre is just a fancy word for a category. It's how we group similar things together. You know, like when you pick a movie, you want to know if it's a comedy or a horror flick, right? It helps us know what we're getting into. And it's the exact same idea for the books we read.
Yep, books work just like that. And that brings us to this huge, massive category that pretty much defines most of the stories we love, the world of fiction. So, fiction is like the biggest umbrella term there is. It just means the story comes from an author's imagination, that it didn't actually happen. But, just calling something fiction doesn't really tell you much, does it?
I mean, think about it. Harry Potter and Charlotte's Web. Both are technically fiction, but come on, they could not be more different. You've got wizards and epic magic on one hand, and a talking spider and a pig on the other. This is exactly why we need to get more specific with genres. It helps us figure out what a story is really about.
And that, right there, brings us to the main event. We're talking about the incredible, always looking to the future genre of science fiction, or as you probably know it, sci-fi.
So when I say sci-fi, what pops into your head? I'm guessing it's stuff like spaceships, zipping through the galaxy, super smart robots, maybe some aliens, time travel, all that cool future tech. And yeah, those are definitely the classic ingredients. But what's the real definition? What's at the heart of it all? Okay, at its core, sci-fi is all about stories with unreal things that could, and that's the most important word right there, could actually be real in our world someday. It's the fiction of possibility. It's all about asking that big question, what if? And this whole idea of future possibility brings us to the number one, most important rule of the entire genre. This is the big one. It's the one thing that draws a clear line in the sand between sci-fi and its very close cousin, fantasy.
Okay, let's take turning invisible. In a sci-fi story, how would someone do it? Well, they'd probably build some kind of high-tech device that bends light, based on real scientific ideas. But in a fantasy story, they just, drink a magic potion. And that's it. That's the difference right there. One is built on science, the other is all about magic.
And that's the really crucial thing to remember. Even with all the amazing inventions and crazy stuff happening, a sci-fi world still plays by the basic rules of our own reality. All the incredible things are grounded in science and technology, not poof magic.
Now you might be thinking that sci-fi always has to be set way, way in the future. And yeah, a lot of it is. It could be the next century, or it could even be just tomorrow. But that's not the only way to do it. Some stories take place in an alternate present day. And then you've got wild subgenres like steampunk, which is all about imagining what advanced, steam-powered tech would look like in the past. Seriously, the possibilities for the setting are just endless.
Okay, so we've got a pretty good handle on what it is, but so what? Why does sci-fi even matter? I promise you, it's about way more than just cool gadgets and spaceships.
Think of science fiction as this giant thought experiment. It takes a brand new idea, like a new piece of technology or a huge discovery, and then it just asks, and then what? What happens next? For instance, it's super exciting to think about meeting aliens, right? But what if they're not friendly? Sci-fi gives us this safe space to explore all the possible consequences, the good and the bad, of our biggest, boldest ideas.
And that's the real power of it. By exploring all these imagined futures, sci-fi is actually holding up a mirror to us, right now, in the present. It kind of forces us to look at the path we're on and really think about where our choices today, with our tech, with our planet, with each other, might actually take us tomorrow.
At the end of the day, that's what sci-fi authors are. They're explorers of what could be. They're the ones brave enough to ask, what if? And they give us this amazing playground to think about the absolute best and sometimes the absolute worst parts of what humanity can do. So there you have it, science fiction, a genre that's built on the rules of our world, but is only limited by how far our imagination can stretch. And that just leaves me with one final question for you. If you were going to write a sci-fi story set tomorrow, what if would you want to explore? Thanks for diving into this with me today.